Now you talk about somebody that has a lot to be memorable, a lot of memories that are going to be locked in. Somebody that's making memories right now. We're talking about LA Knight, one of the two that made it to the finals of the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. And we got him immediately after that match tonight. I mean, literally, fresh out of the ring, fresh off of making it to the finals of the Time Is Now John Cena tournament.
So Last Time Is Now, dummy. Come on. Go ahead. Keep that in there.
Yes, please keep that in there.
LA Knight.
Correct.
No, you shouldn't. And you should be confident right now. You made it all the way to the finals. You were talking just on SmackDown about it. Feels like every time you almost get there, there's somebody to cut your legs out from under you. Yeah. I mean, how do you feel in this moment? This is the first moment that you've had to realize that you've made it to the finals of this tournament.
Man, it's like my career just kind of, it rhymes a lot. I won't say that it repeats, but it rhymes a lot. And what ends up happening is, again, it always feels like there's forces trying to tug at the cape a little bit, keep Superman down. But at the end of the day, man, I don't know how to quit. I don't know how to stop. And when you have that kind of a determination, there's no way that you can stop me from rising. Now, look, there's always going to be bumps in the road. Everything's not going to go perfect. But at the end of the day, I'm a little beat up. All power to Jey Uso. He definitely brought it out there. Damn, I mean, on the brink of the win, he hit the splash right there. And just with that little boost of adrenaline, I was able to pull out the little roll-up. Good God. But I tell you, I want to just get up and pace right now. I got so much adrenaline and everything going through me. I mean, literally walked right out of the ring, and this guy just grabbed me and says, hey, let's throw you on camera real quick. So you guys get a treat right now.
I mean, it was amazing. And you could tell the adrenaline was going, but you were still in that frame of mind. I could see that, like, while you had him in that crucifix roll-up, you were also positioning your hand
instincts, man.
and just making sure, though, that pin, if you were going to get the pin, that the pin was going to count, your arm was going to be positioned right, everything was going to be right, because all it takes is that one moment, and you got that one moment. When you, first of all, getting a win over Jey Uso right now, you know, you two are one of the two, or two of the two, top fan favorites in the industry. And so it was a big match, I think, in general. When you look forward, right, and the possibility now, one match away from John Cena's last match, when you think about it, is it about John Cena's career? Is it about what John Cena has done, or is it purely about you?
Look, I know everybody out there kind of does the whole thing of like, oh, you know, it'd be great to be John Cena's last opponent and this and that. And look, I got all the respect in the world for John Cena and everything that he's done. Greatest of all time? Yeah, he might be. And if that's the case, and if that's what we're saying here, my thought is, at first I thought, I'm not really a dream match guy. I don't care about that. I'm here to make money. I'm here to win championships, if I'm honest. Let me just be 100% transparent with you. At the same time, I appreciate everything that's happened. I appreciate the fact that when I go out there, everybody jumps out of their seat and they say, yeah, because they just can't help it. They're feeling that Kavorka. That's what it is. And I appreciate the hell out of that. But at the same time, I got to look at this like a business, because that's what it is. And so for me, it's a matter of fact that John Cena, greatest of all time. And if I end up in that ring with him and I get the 1, 2, 3, or who knows, I'm not a submission guy, but if I make the guy submit, hell, I don't know if that makes me the greatest of all time, but I got to be damn moving in that direction. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty close.
That's where my head is.
I would think so. But before you can even think about John Cena, there is an opponent that would come before John Cena. And Gunther has a match later tonight. And Gunther has been this unstoppable force in WWE. How does one even think about going up against someone like Gunther?
Or Solo, for that matter. You can say the same thing about Solo Sikoa and the people that he's been putting on their backs.
And Solo and I have done the dance, 100 different times. But with Gunther, you talk about... well, first of all, I just want to say that's why I'm a little bit uncomfortable doing this interview in the first place, because I feel like we're celebrating right now and I haven't done anything yet. Yeah, I won a match. Yeah, I'm moving on. But like, I haven't won the thing yet. I haven't taken this thing over yet. I haven't risen to the top and said, hey, yeah, it's me and John Cena. Hey, yeah, it's me. I beat John Cena. But that's okay, because here we are. I'm going to not count my chickens at this point. And like you said, yeah, there's Gunther. He's a unstoppable force, this and that. But a lot of people say I'm an unstoppable force. Has anybody ever seen somebody walk into this place and take this place over the way that I did. If you look back to 2023 and you look how a lot of people wanted to go ahead and, they wanted to count my demise a long time ago. They wanted to say, oh, this guy's going to be a flash in the pan. Oh, he's going to be a flavor of the month. Huh? Here we go. What, 2-3 years strong, still running? Nothing's changed. I don't know if you heard when that 3 count went down. You want to talk about an unstoppable force? This is the unstoppable force. This is what is. I am what is.
And instead of looking forward, because you're right, that remains to be seen. You could talk about this tournament and everything that's happened in this tournament. And the fact is that you've been in positions that are unique only to you and your journey in this thing. I mean, go back to the first round and the idea that you've got a guy coming in Zack Ryder making his return, somebody that the fans are going to be excited about, somebody that has gotten better and better and better and better in the time that he's been gone. And it would be very easy for you to be in a position where you're the credible guy that Zack Ryder beats on his way to beating John Cena. But even that moment wasn't too big to stop the kind of wave of momentum that you're on.
No. And you're talking about 2 weeks in a row, I got to do a mystery opponent. Yeah. It just, again, sometimes it just feels like the cards are just being stacked against me. I'm looking at the deal. I'm trying to play a fair game here, and they're just pulling from the bottom of the deck. So I don't know. At the same time, let me just rewind just a little bit, because everything that I just said, you're talking about the unstoppable force, this, that, whatever. And that was kind of in response to what you were saying about Gunther. Now, I don't want to take anything away from him. Everybody sees what he does. He's a super tough. You're talking about Solo Sikoa, extra tough. You're talking about 2 guys who have hurt a lot of people and who've done a lot of damage around this place. But at the same time, when I hear that, I start to get just slightly offended. And I know you don't mean it that way, but I hear it that way because I'm like, oh, he's an unstoppable force. Well, who's talking about that like me? Who's talking about like that about me? And so with that thought, then I start thinking, well, hold on, let's just rewind a little bit. Let's look at the history. Let's look at what's happened. Let's look at the things that I've done and I've gone through. Now, look, what one of those guys, at least Gunther, has over me, world heavyweight champion. I ain't done that yet. So, you're looking at another thing where you got a guy who's got a little bit more credentials than I do, and you're talking about not only can I go in there and beat what you call unstoppable force, beating another former world champion like I did tonight, another feather in the cap there. So, but also Solo Sikoa, again, man, he and I have been up and down the roads 100 different times. So to beat him also, and another guy who, don't forget, has beaten John Cena.
That's right.
Yes.
Solo Sikoa put about a dozen Samoan spikes into John Cena's neck. Let's go back, though. Let's go back a couple of years. Speaking of John Cena and your own history with John Cena and the interactions that you had, I want to say, in 2023. Sure. I felt like, and I remember specifically watching that and noticing it, because I find that especially in the last 5 years, when you see especially fan favorite modern WWE superstars interacting with John Cena, they do it from a place of reverence. When I saw you do it, it struck me as you were coming from a place of respect, but it didn't seem like you wanted to put yourself in that reverence spot. It seemed like you were deliberately, not to being disrespectful, but deliberately making sure that nobody saw you as being under the learning tree because you were your own superstar. Did I interpret that correctly?
You might agree or disagree with this, but in my mind, I'm putting myself on the same level as him. He's one of my peers. So in that sense, in this business, if he's one of my peers, I'm not going to look up to him. Again, I can respect everything that he's done. And again, people might call him the greatest of all time. He might be the greatest of all time. And I can recognize that. All the things that he's done, Unseen 17, all this stuff. But with that being the case, I'm still not going to go in there and lather this guy up. And if you look at our first interaction, the reason that I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but there was a point in that match with Miz where he almost cost me the match. There was a little bit of a distraction. Something happened. So I was a little bit hot on him at the end. So it wasn't like I was going to go up to him and give him a big hug and, hey, man, that was great. So for me, it was a little bit of, hey, man, you almost cost me that whole damn thing. And you got to watch yourself. And because look, he's been around a long time. I hadn't. So you could also say, well, maybe you should just kind of maybe walk on eggshells in that sense. No, we don't do that. As far as I'm concerned, it was, hey, I need to make my footprint here. And if I'm going to do that with no disrespect, again, respecting everything that he's done and understand that, but at the same time, I'm a man. And if you're going to take potentially food off my plate, we got to talk about that. So yes, I was definitely a little bit perturbed for the moment, but eventually we got to the handshake and we were good.
I mean, when you look at a potential Saturday night's main event, do you think about that night and what it means for John Cena, or is that a complete afterthought because you are LA Knight and the way you operate is in the world that is known as LA Knight?
It's tough to get that far ahead.
Yeah.
And it's especially tough to get that far ahead for somebody else. And I don't mean that in, I don't see anybody else. I very much have an eye on other things that are going on and what other people are doing, and try and put myself in other people's, in other people's shoes as much as I can in certain situations. But it's tough for me not to look at day by day. Because, with everything that we talked about earlier, where it's like, it always feels like somebody's trying to tug on the cape. It always feels like somebody's trying to stack the deck. And with that being the case, it's kind of tough to look too far ahead, because it's tough to really make plans, because you almost have to just be always in the damn moment and present.
Is there any part of you that when you're in a match with a guy like Jey Uso, and you look at that referee and you know that third hand is coming down, you're about to win this match, is there any part of you that wonders, are they going to still cheer for me? I beat one of their favorites. Are they still going to cheer for me? Or does that not come into your head at all?
No, that never came into my head, actually. But, I definitely have thought about that in the sense of like, man, are we kind of splitting the audience? Like, are we making the people choose? But I don't know. I'll be honest. While we were out there, it felt like the people weren't necessarily choosing so much as just kind of enjoying every moment. And I don't think we were out there. Jey and I don't have like necessarily an overtly personal issue, and I definitely were competitors, and we both wanted to win the match. But I don't think it was like it's not a blood feud or anything. So I think in a way they were able to enjoy it, in the sense that nobody was out to, physically injure the other person beyond, hey, I want to get a 3 count and go on. So I think that made it easy for the people to enjoy. Now, if one of us would have gone out there and tried to hurt the other one, maybe then maybe we got something to talk about. But no, the only time I think about that is when I let the people down, and when I lose. When the 3's getting counted against me, you start to think like, okay, at what point will the people maybe start to lose faith and just go, man, damn it, we like this guy, we want this to happen, but it's just not going to happen. And so in that case, I think about that, certainly. But at the same time, I really get on myself to not think about that and try and focus on not thinking about missing the shot, but always thinking about how I'm going to make the shot.
Yeah, it's really interesting hearing you phrase it that way, because it sounds like that's what fuels you. The idea is that if you don't have consistent, pure, blind, 100% faith in yourself, that you run the risk of the audience losing faith in you, and therefore, at no point.
If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be sitting here having this interview with you right now.
That's right.
My entire career is predicated on blind, damn near idiotic faith. Just believing that, hey, I've got something here and I got to keep pushing, because at plenty of times I've been at places where most people probably would have quit and probably would have been smart to quit in certain ways. But in all honesty, it's paid off in such amazing ways that I can't even describe, to where the best thing that I did was blindly believe in myself like that. And so, I think that's really all I can do. And whether the people come along with me, or at some point they just go, it's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. I can't focus myself on that. I appreciate every single bit of what they give me. I feed off of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be in the position I am without them, if I'm honest, especially everything that happened with that, and with how everything just blew up a couple of years ago, and now it's continued on. The people made me. I can't take that away from them, and I thank them to the hilt. At the same time, let's say at some point, if they're not with me, I can't worry about that. I got to do me. I got to keep doing me.
I mean, I think there's something very almost old school about the idea that there is still a professional wrestler that really is in the business for themselves. And I mean that in a completely positive sense, that like people have always said that the wrestling business is a selfish business. And if you want to be the star that you want to be, that's got to be how you live.
Well, and it's, but there's different ways that you go about that. And there's different ways that happens. And there are certain ways that I don't participate in that. Again, there are certain people who will undercut other people, very cutthroat business, that kind of stuff. That's not the kind of stuff that I do. Mm-hmm. What I mean is the simple fact that this business, if I'm honest, if it gets the chance, it will chew you up and it will spit you out. Let's be honest. And for me, it's how do I get ahead of that? How do I chew up the business, spit it out, or squeeze it for every bit of juice that I can get out of it? And that doesn't mean taking advantage of anybody that I'm with or anything like that, or nothing like that. And at the same time, you still got to look at stuff, even take it back. The one time when I said the thing about the crying and whatnot, I still want to, it is a selfish business and I'm in it for money. I'm in it to win championships. I'm in it to be the best. But at the same time, if I can leave a good mark on this thing, I'm not opposed to it. But at the same time, I'm just not the type of guy where I'm like, oh, it was my childhood dream to do this, that, whatever. Now, look, was there a little bit of me that was just like, oh my God, that'd be cool? Yeah. But I didn't grow up as a kid saying, oh, I'm going to be a wrestler. This wasn't a thing that happened to me till I was an adult. And I was like, oh, that's an actual job you can go do? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. So for me, it's just kind of different in that sense. And stupid me, because I mean, there's different ways to get in this business, but the way I got in, it took me a long time, and it was a long, hard fight and climb to the top. And but finally, I'm here, and at this point, I'm rambling, and I'm probably boring everybody to death. But yeah, it's a selfish business, and because of that, you have to take selfish moments. And again, but I say that in a way where, again, it's not a matter of taking advantage of the people around you. It's not a matter of cutting other people's legs or throats or whatever you want to call it, to where you're going to do that kind of stuff. I ain't in all that. But what I'm saying is I'm here to make sure that me and the people around me are taken care of. And I do this better than anybody in the world. So with that being the case, let's get this done.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I was getting at. And I've got to tell you, as you were explaining how you got in the business and everything, it just clicked something in that could take this conversation into another hour. So I'm not going to go any further with it.
Damn, I think I'm the whole show at this point.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go. We appreciate you.
I got to go shower and get cleaned up here.
Yeah, spending some time with us. You can get dressed now.
Still my trunks over here.
Congrats on the win. Excited to see you in the next round.
I'm excited too. And by the way, and you just stood up in your trunks, and I just wanted to say, I don't know if anybody has said this about you, and I keep meaning to say it to you, and I always forget. But everybody talks about the sneaker influence in the world of professional wrestling. And I don't think that there is anybody that is more sneaker influenced in the world of professional wrestling without wearing sneakers than LA Knight. Yeah. I recognize the Jordan 3 cement on the side of the trunks. I recommend the 11 inspired boot. I recognize the 11 inspired boots. The 12 inspired boots. I see them all. I see them all.
Well, so for me, I'm again, we're talking about how I got in the business, old school, this, that. I was always, you wear boots when you're a wrestler. So let me have the boots. And probably, man, it had to have been 2014, that far back, where I'd started in a notebook drawing what I wanted. I want this, this, this. It was so hard to find a bootmaker that could do it until finally, I think it was about 2016, I found some guy in Mexico. And so now I get them custom made every few months. I'll get a pair sent up to me. I'll draw them up something. Here's what I want. Here's what I want. Here's the measurements, da-da-da. And off we go. We got some custom LA Knight 12s here.
That's sick.
I love it.
That's absolutely awesome. LA Knight, congratulations on tonight. Thank you. We always appreciate you, dude.
Hopefully you'll be telling me congratulations next week, and then congratulations at Saturday night's main event.
That's right.
We'll see what happens, but unstoppable force, I think you said, right? And you were talking about me? Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.